happened over in the pod? Can you tell us what was going
Well,
on?
I had like a lot of anger built up in me for a couple weeks now, and I told them to send either a therapist or somebody to talk to me because I need somebody to talk to, and they didn't do it. So it made me, you know what I'm saying? It really made me go crazy. Because I mean, not crazy, because I'm not a crazy person, but I do have bipolar and ADHD and ODD. So, you know, when I ask to talk to somebody, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it for attention. I'm just doing it because I need to talk to somebody. But then just right now, I think I kind of took that as an attention mode. And that's not what I should have done. I should have been more calm. But it was all basically over kids in the pods running their mouth because I'm the only white kid in there. And it's not racist. I'm not a racist type person, nothing like that. Actually, to tell you the truth, I'm really friendly with everybody. It's just as long as everybody gets along with me. And it's not what it was. We're all in jail. We're all here for something bad. And everything just started backfiring. I didn't want to go there, but I didn't want to come down there either. It's not somewhere where I wanted to be, so kind of took it into the wrong hand.
So do you think about it ahead of time, or did you just really kind of like snap?
It was a snap reaction. I would have never thought that I was gonna go out like that. I would have in a regular way I would have probably just gave up, but I wasn't giving up. I don't know why, but it was just all that adrenaline and all that it was just pumped up in me from so long. I mean, being here for all them days, it gets to you after a while, especially when you ain't got your mom and your dad and your little brother. My two sisters were adopted out, so it's all real hard. It just hurts.
So really, a lot of what you're going through is
Depression. That's what it is. It's real depressing. Everything's depressing. And ever since I was a little kid, it's been hard.
I think that people just don't understand what kids like you go through. What would you want people to know?
I just want people to know that all the kids, they really ain't, we're not bad kids. We're not. We just make the wrong decisions. And sometimes we need guidance in our life. And we need the parents to be there for us when we need them the most. And when you ain't got them, it just hurts. It's really all it is. I mean, kids out there, half of us, we could do something with our life. But we decided to just get on a criminal act and it puts us away. And it stops us from doing what we need to do. And if I had an option, I wouldn't make an LCJC department. I'd probably make somewhere where the kids can actually be in school or something like that. But it's not my option because I am still a juvenile. Hopefully in my lifetime, I can make something out of that. My experience being here, it really taught me to make something of my life or else, I'm going to keep on ending up back into the system. I might do something that I don't want to do on the streets and then end up in Westville or, somewhere that I don't want to be. I want to do something with my life.
Do you feel like everything goes back to when you were a little kid and your family situation? Because so many kids that I talk to say that it started early at home.
It did. To me, it started around when I was, I say 6 or 7. I think was my dad went to prison, and I was real close to my dad. And then losing him for a couple years, it just kind of set me off. And then my mom having her boyfriends and stuff like that, I didn't want him around because it wasn't my dad. And I would just get violent with them, and it wasn't the thing that I needed to do. But after the years progressed, my dad he got released, and then I was with my dad for a while. And then my dad, he turned into another convict again, and then he went back on the burglary sprees and all that. And I tried to stop my dad from doing something that he need to do, and that's how I caught another charge. I tried to stop my dad from breaking in the house, and they gave me the charge. I took the charge for him, and that's the criminal trespassing. He got dropped down. I had attempted residential burglary because something he wanted to do. And You know, my dad was on drugs for a period of time, I think a year or so, and he would sit there and knock himself upside the head and tell my mom he got robbed. So it was real hard knowing that that was my role model. That's who I looked after.
You're a kid, and they're supposed to be parents to you. And how it is you feel and what you're going through?
It's really hard to, it was at the point, it was really hard to communicate with him because he is deaf, and you know, my dad, he don't take things into consideration. You know, I'll talk to him about something, but then it was a joke to him. And then my mom, she really wants the best for me, but at the same time, how could I get the best out of something if she's not going to be there to talk to me about it? But over the years, she has helped me out a lot. I mean, the judge was going to send me to boys' school the last time, and my mom sat there and she told him, I don't want him to go. You know, that's my oldest son. And my dad, it was so hard to talk to him, but it was so easy to get along with him because I didn't have to talk to him like that. And being able to get along with my dad, it kind of pushed me away from my mom, the real person that I should have talked, you know, I should have talked to back in the past. But my dad, he gets out in October, I believe it is, and I'm hoping that he does come into our lives and makes a change with everything. And my brother, he talks to my dad, but I don't talk to him because I'm not allowed to write to facilities from here. But it's been a long time since I actually wrote my dad. It's been about 1.5 years now. And I told him I wasn't going to talk to him until he gets out because that was his problem. He put himself there, just like he put me in jail. You know, and I mean, I love my dad with all my heart, and I wish the best for him. When he gets out, I'll be there.
So when you're in court, do you explain these kinds of things to the judge, or are you just nervous when you walk in court? Tell me about what your court experience has been like so far up to this point.
As soon as I get into court, I can't even tell you the truth. I can't speak. It gets real hard because when I just feel like breaking down. I mean, the judge, they really don't understand what we go through. I mean, they know that what we go through here, but they don't know what we go through on the outside. And when you sit there and try to explain to the judge, like I tried to do this time, it backfires. You know, and I got put under advisement, and advisement means that whenever he feels he's ready to come up with a decision to send me somewhere, then he'll do it. But till then, I gotta sit and wait, and I'm just another number. And my court experiences, they've been kind of rough. Because when we get into the courtroom, I look back at my mom, and my mom sit there and she'll start crying. And just to know her son's in jail, she never knew it never occurred to her that I was going to be here. But growing up, I grew up tough. I always thought I was somebody. And, you know, I grew up in a gang, and I used to carry guns around and all that stuff. But it's now the court experiences, they did get a lot tougher over the years. They really did.
Oh, okay. That's fine. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You were banging the door with what? What's part of your hand?
No, that was the handcuffs. And my back is like twisted.
Your back is twisted.
Yeah, it hurts.
Grab my fingers. Grab my fingers. Squeeze as hard as you can. Squeeze, hon. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Come on. You can't hurt me.
This one right here is swollen.
So you were hitting it with this hand too?
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me everything that you were hitting the door with.
I only hit the door with this hand.
Hit the door with your right hand?
Yeah, but
And
this
this
is
from
all
the handcuffs?
handcuffs.
And what's wrong with your back? Stand up.
My back is when they put the knee on my back. It's
Okay,
like,
where does it hurt you? Right up in there. Okay, can you bend over and touch your toes? Turn around and stand straight. Bend over and touch your toes. Bend, bend, bend. Can you do that? Does it hurt you?
no, right there it's starting to hurt.
That's where it
No,
hurts
it's
you?
up here.
Up in here, in your shoulder?
Over a little bit.
Okay, stand up again. Take your arms over like this. Oh, put your fingers over the top of your head. Up, high. Does it bother
It
you?
hurts, yeah.
Where? Same spot?
No, not right here.
Oh my. Okay, go like this. Go back, 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 back as far as you can go. Okay, son, have a seat. We'll take care of it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Trying to get on his bad side.
Mr. Brett,
He's huge.
yeah, he's a good teacher though.
Is he?
Yeah. He's one of the people that kind of kept me up too.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I know we were talking, I just want to get to, she came in to check you out,
Yeah.
to see if you were hurt from the takedown situation. So what was that like when they came into the room and there were a lot of people there? Was it scary? Tell me about that.
It wasn't. I tell you the truth, I'm not scared of nobody, but it was a rush. Like it just came like that, and then everything just started shaking to me, and I didn't want to give up. And looking at them, they were all bigger than me, every single one of them. But it was kind of scary to tell you the truth. At
Did
first.
it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt really bad. Knocked the wind out of me. That's why I'm all in bad shape right now. My back's, twisted up, and my hands, this hand right here hurts all up in here, swollen. And, I really never seen that happen before. But that was the first time I actually seen something like that.
Did you have any idea that was going to happen?
No. I thought they was going to come and put the cuffs on me, but I knew I wasn't going to go out like that. I wasn't just going to sit there, so I kind of went crazy. And that was it. It was a real bad experience. I'll never do that again. I won't never try to get out of something like that. I'll just sit down and let them put handcuffs on me. Because now I got to sit in my room butt naked. And it's not what I want. Just, the nurses, they come check us out every time we get an injury. And if it's severe, we go to the hospital when they do x-rays and check up on us. But that's what their job is to do.
So now you're down in...
I'm down in my room till probably I leave, most likely. But Miss Jamie, she's a real nice lady. And I think she, as long as I cool out and take my time and think about it, I think she'll get me up by next week. But hopefully, I think she said by the 1st of next week I'm leaving. So I pray to God that that's what happens. Because the judge told me something different.
What did the judge tell you?
I went to court July 17th, and the judge told me that the Monday of July 21st I would be out of here either in placement boys school or at home, my house arrest. But it didn't happen. I'm still here, and it's July 31st.
So did they tell you when your next...
I don't go to court no more. I pleaded guilty to my charge. My PO, she recommended placement in Wheatfield, Indiana, and the state, they recommended placement. So the judge, I kind of said the wrong thing in court. I said house arrest level 3, and there's no such thing. It's house arrest level 2 and house arrest level 1. So the judge he had to think about it. He didn't really know what to do. So I'm just waiting for him to figure out what he's going to do and all that.
So tell me what your charges were to bring you here in the first place.
This charge was only battery, and
Battery on...
on my mom's boyfriend. And it wasn't a real serious one, but at the same time, it was to the point to where my mom didn't want me in the house no more, because it was her boyfriend, and she kind of took his side, but at the same time, I knew what she wanted to do with me. She really wants the best for me, and she told me that. She don't want to see me out there on the streets no more. And where I was living, there was a lot of people that was out to shoot really anybody. And me being in a gang and all that, it kind of took me, to the wrong neighborhood. And if I was to walk out my front door, I would have probably got shot, to tell you the truth. So, and then after that, I was in here, and my mom told me one of a gang member had got shot in front of my house, in front of my mom. So, it was real scary. She moved us away from that. It's just me, this battery charge, they all went so quickly. I was in the house, I was sleeping. I was talking to one of my ex-girlfriends, Monica. I was talking to her on the phone, and, she got off the phone. I laid down, and I woke up around like 11:30. My mom came in. Her boyfriend was kind of drinking. And then they walked to the kitchen. It was all over some food. I ate my mom's steak and my mom's boyfriend's steak. and they got mad because they had bought me Taco Bell, and he was drinking, and then he started laughing at me, like he thought something was funny because me and my mom was arguing. So I reached over my mom and I swung at him. When I swung at him, I didn't hit him. I just grazed him like this. I went past his face and left a little red mark. The cops came and they told my mom, they told my mom's boyfriend, you want to press charges? He said no. And my mom was like, please press charges. I just want him to learn his lesson. And I already knew that was going to happen. I was just, I didn't want to run or nothing like that because it would have made it worse on myself. But I knew everything, what was going to happen and stuff, so I just rather took the punishment and get out. I didn't know it was going to be this severe.
So that was your first?
This is my sixth charge. My first time. My first time I was 12 years old in 5th grade, and I wasn't going to school because family problems at home. Sometimes I just didn't want to wake up. I didn't really care. I always thought of myself as like a little hard-headed kid. And when I did go to school, I was always fighting, and I didn't want to be there no more. So I stopped going to school for like 150 days, and the judge got a hold of me. Then they put me on probation for 6 months. When I went to 6th grade, I was in probation. And then I got released successfully because I was going to school every day and I brought my grades up. And then I kept on doing good until 8th grade, and I got kicked out of school. And it wasn't my fault. That time I got the truancy charge. They never sent me a letter through the mail saying I had to go to homebound classes. So they kind of messed up, and they gave me another charge for that. Then they put me, at the same time, a couple weeks later, that was when the incident with my dad happened.
So you had truancy charges, battery charges.
Burglary.
So go through them, tell them you had.
Like 2 truancies, criminal trespassing, runaway, burglary, and battery. The burglary was only attempted residential burglary, but me and my lawyer fought the case, and the cop had came in and let them know that I didn't have nothing to do with it. So they gave me probation again, and then the judge told me next time I mess up, I was going to DOC. So when I came in here this time, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just thinking about going home, but my mom didn't come to court. And then the second time, they sent her a letter through the mail, but they sent it late. She didn't come to court again.
So if your parent doesn't come to court, you have to remain.
I had to remain detained to my next court date, which is basically 3 to 4 weeks later. So 3 to 4 weeks each time, it's really stressful and, it's hard.
Tell me how many days you've been here.
I've been here, today is 98, and in 2 more days it'll make 100. And after that, 120 is gonna make 3 months or 4 months. And I've been here for a pretty long time. And my charge that I got now, it's only up to 120 days that I could spend in here. So that's what kind of bothers me too. They're giving me a really rough, they're hitting me really hard. And this is really gonna make me learn from this time.
What would you want other kids out there to know? You said you've seen some of these shows. What do you want to tell other kids?
I just want other kids to know that school is the best thing possible. I want a lot of kids out there. I have problems with a lot of kids, and I'd rather them keep their head up and go through school and get straight A's, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to, you can make it in life, but you really can't make it in life with a GED no more. It's not going to happen. You got to make it through life with a diploma, go to college, and get your stuff together. Stop, all this game banging stuff that everybody's doing, it's not worth it. Because they're following a leader, somebody who's taller than them, and they can't be that person. And they're going to get shot over somebody that, that's in the game. And I don't want that for kids. I want, to make a change in the world. And I want every kid to know that their parents do love them. Even if they got a foster parent, everybody just wants the best for their kids. It don't matter if they're their blood, they want the best for them. And I know there's kids out there that have it really rough, that don't have parents, and they got to grow up on the streets. Well, for them, there is classes they can get into on their own, and there is people they can go to for help. And I really wish that a lot of people would go to people for help instead of taking their anger out on the streets and killing people and stuff. It's not worth it.
So what do you think you have waiting for you when you leave here?
When I leave here, I think tell you the truth, that's all I really think about because I don't know. I mean, when I get out, I know what I want to do in my life. I want to go to college. I want to go to IT Tech to be an EST, electronic specialist technician, and it's something that I've been doing all my life, just working with my hands. And my mom knows, and hopefully, my mom is there for me when I get out this time, and she'll come visit me in placement and all that. Uh, when I get out, I just hope that my dad's a changed person too, and he's there for me. And I hope that a lot of people realize that I'm not like my grandma and them. They think I'm a bad kid, and I'm not. I just grew up the wrong way. I just want everybody to realize that I'm not the person they put me to be.
When you talk about placement, tell me a little bit about the placement that you've heard you might be going to.
The placement I might be going to, it's a real good placement. It's a campus. It's got cottages all around. They help you with your skills, like your school. I'm gonna be going to school all year round there. I'm probably gonna be there for 9 months to a year. They bring your family out to visit you. You go on activities with them. You go to church every Sunday. They got exercising rooms. They got a lot of things for the kids there. And basically, their goal there is to get us on the right path. And so that way when we do go back home, we don't go back to gang banging. We don't go back to stealing and all that. I had talked to one of the guys. His name was Gary from Wheatfield, and he told me that as long as I stay on the right track and get my grades up and all that, I will be going home. And I think it is a really good placement. You get your own horse to groom and all that stuff. It's like basically it's relaxing because it's in the country. So it kind of relaxes your nerves, and they help you with your anger management skills and all that stuff. So it's,
And you said your brother's there?
yeah, my little brother's been there since January, and they're gonna keep him probably till December, so almost a year he'll be there. My mom put him there for, he had a disorderly conduct charge. He ran away from my aunts, and my mom didn't have, saying she was going through a rough time too, so she let him live with my aunt. He ran away, and they caught him. The cops did. And when the cops caught him, my brother cussed him out. And he cussed him out really rough for an 11-year-old. He got in here, and then they let him out the next day. He went home, promised my mom he wasn't going to do no more stuff. He did it again. And my mom brought him to court and told Miller she don't want him there no more.
Have you talked to your mom about whether or not she feels responsible for you guys acting out the way you do?
Well,
Does she understand that maybe it might be the way she raised you?
no, my mom, I think she raised me right. I just think that the things that we seen were kind of inappropriate, like the arguments and stuff like that. My mom, she did come to visit me one time, and she really apologized for everything that happened in our lifetime. And I apologized back to her too. And she told me when I get out this time that she wants to make a change, and she wants me to go to church every day. So when I do go home, I'm going to be 17 and a half, and I'm basically going to be moving out. It's like I'm going home to move out back into my own world. And when I do that, it's just I got to be prepared for it. My mom knows. My mom does care. I know she cares. But she has stuff that she has to do too. And she's a real responsible parent. She's always going to be there for us, and I know that. I mean, like she told me, who's going to be there for you when I die? And to tell you the truth, ain't nobody going to be there. And that's going to make me hurt. And right now, I feel like crying just saying that.
When was the last time you saw her?
I saw her June 21st, I think it was. And I seen her in court on July 17th and June 26th. I've been to a couple court dates already, 4. But it's the last time I really saw her. And she promised me she's going to visit me almost every weekend, but she don't come. But it don't bother me no more. I'm just waiting for that day to get out of here. I just want to leave. I don't really mind the visits no more.
So what's the final thing that you want people to know about you and your situation and your life?
My final thing that I want people to know is the situation I'm in. It's, a lot of people are gonna struggle. I mean, if a kid sees his mom in an abusive relationship, it's gonna be hard. They just they don't need to get involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Let an adult know. Let somebody know that what your mom's going through, and make something better of it. You know, try to pull your mom away from it. And if she don't want to move away from it, then you know what I'm saying, then that's where you gotta come in and put yourself into a residential home yourself.
So you saw a lot of domestic violence in your home.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, and I had a girlfriend, you know, I know I'm still young, but to tell you the truth, she was really there for me. A lot of the times. And every time I needed to pick up the phone to call her, she was right there. But you
So
know,
you saw your mom get beat up.
yeah. And I mean, I seen all through my life, ever since I was a young kid, I seen my mom get beat up by my dad, and it hurt. And then when I got old enough to do something about it, it wasn't the right thing to do. You know, they started coming real rough on kids with battery cases now. And I realized that because I'm here for so many months just for barely hitting a guy. And I see people that shoot people and they walk out of here within a month. You know, it's real hard.
That's where a lot of anger comes from when you grow up seeing
Yeah.
violence.
Anger, it's always been in me since I was a little kid. I mean, I've been in hospitals. I've been in a hospital, I think, 6 times. When I was 3, I was there for 3 months. When I was 6, I was there for about 9 days, and all the way up for 9 days. So that's 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. And then finally it all ended. I stopped going there, and then I started ending up in here.
I just want to loop back around to something real quick. You said Jamie's a nice person. Jamie's been here a long time. Tell me kind of what your thoughts are about Jamie and some of the guards here, but particularly Jamie.
Jamie, you know, at first, to tell you the truth, I didn't like her. But you can't like nobody unless you know them. I mean, so when I got to know her, she was a really nice person. And I noticed that she was only there for what we needed. And every time, you know, I had a problem, a situation in the C wing, and she moved me out to keep me safe into the E-Pod. And then I messed up in the E-Pod, she put me back over here. But Miss Jamie, she's a real nice lady. And she's really about helping us. She just wants the best for her kids. And if she's got to do something, she's going to do it. And that's the bottom line. She's not going to back out of what she's going to do.
And you understand that this can be a tough job for people like her who...
I mean, when you got to come in to get a kid down, it is tough. I mean, your whole day, you go home thinking about that kid that you just put down. And it's a lot of stress for her because then she got to come back the next day and do paperwork. And that's not something that I want for her. You know, I'd rather make her time easier here, but...
She's here for you guys.
She's really here for us. She is. And then the staff, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Some of the staffs, they're not the best people in the world. But a lot of them, like Mark, you know, I seen him as a good person. Because when I first came here, he put me down in my room for sagging my pants. But when I got up, I talked to him one day and I asked him, I'm like, why do you do that? And he goes, because I want the best for you guys. I don't want you guys looking like thugs, and I don't want you guys going back to the street messing up. And he was the person that I talked to too, and he made me realize a lot of what was going on in my life. And Miss Tammy, she's a real nice staff lady too. She's a supervisor here. She's not the best person, but she's really cool to me.
So, in a final comment, what would make you happy in life?
What would make me happy? To get my family back together and have no more problems in life, and to go to college and be somebody and just see the world change, because the way it's going now, it's too rough. I just want a lot for everybody. not only myself. Uh, I would like to be happy every day, but it's not something that's gonna happen. I know that. So I want a lot of moods around me to change. And until that day, I'm still gonna be the same me, except for I'm not gonna get in no more trouble. This is basically a lesson, and hopefully it'll make some good of it.
Anybody have anything else? Sometimes when you guys are listening,
I have-
I'd love to ask him this.
Oh, I do have one question. You mentioned something, and you can answer it to her. Watch it go shadow. You mentioned something about you're having problems in the other pod that a bunch of people wanted to jump you. What's that about?
It was all gang affiliated.
Actually, answer.
Sound like I asked you that.
It was gang affiliated, basically. And, you know, I used to be a Spanish gangster disciple, and I pulled myself out of that. And, you know, I went into the pod basically thinking I was somebody hard, and I wasn't. You know, I'm not going to downgrade myself. You know, I can stand my ground, but it was all over me being tough into the gang affiliation. And, you know, after that, what just happened, I was just like, what do I need a gang for? They're not helping me. Ain't nothing helping me.
So what's life like on the pod? Like,
Oh,
if I could eavesdrop just between you kids, take the guards out of it, but just what's life like living around all the other kids that you have to live with?
it's hell. It is, because so many kids got so many stories to tell, but then at the same time, they'll tell you something that you don't want to hear. And then they'll tell you that, you know, it's one of you, either they shot at your cousin or they try to kill your cousin. It gets really hard, you know, and people know you. We're all basically from the same area. And living with 18 kids in a pod, it's really hectic. You know, you got people trying to come at you about certain things that you don't want to hear. You know, and when you got somebody in a gang that's running under something else, and you're next door to them, and you're something, but then they ask you what you are, and you tell them, then it makes it harder for you, and that's what happened with me. And living with 18 kids it's really stressful, because they can get into your head, and they can bug you all day, and they all work together to do it. You know, and over there in the C wing, they're all they're there for something really bad, you know, and I can actually sleep over there, to tell you the truth.
How do you sleep around them?
The reason how I can sleep over there is because in the morning time they're not up, and you can tell they're never up in the morning. They got so much energy in the daytime that they wear it all out, and then they'll sleep the day off and then come back up probably around 3 o'clock. So it makes my days go by faster.
Do you feel safer down there because it's locked down and you don't have to worry about the whole kind of pod area? Or?
Not really. I don't feel safe nowhere around here. Everywhere I walk, I watch my back. It's not, I mean, I know it's a good facility. It's not prison or anything like that, but nowhere you go in a jail facility is going to be safe. And, you know, the only thing that's going to make it safe is the staff and the DOs. And some of the DOs, they really don't care. They'll let some happen, but, you know, they'll, at the same time, after it does happen, they'll take into consideration, they'll try to stop it. But
What if you see?
probably not that much. It's not that far from here.
Okay. You say you really, you know, anytime you're in any sort of lockup facility like this, you're not safe anywhere. Do kids sort of make deals behind the scenes or try and pair up? And you know, how does that work? Is it almost like they
It's-
create little gangs inside here?
Yeah, like they got their own groups. People that don't like somebody else, they'll work with the opposite. Um, Basically, you know what I'm saying, if you're in a gang, then you do got a lot of vice lords, and then you got kids that are gangster disciples and SGDs, which, to tell you the truth, if I was still in the gang, I would connect with the GDs, and then we would go against the opposite.
GD, gangster disciples.
Yeah, and we would be against the vice lords. But after I dropped all that, where I was just at in E-Pod, where they brought me down from, there was a lot of vice lords all around me. And I had told the next door neighbor to me what I used to be, and they used it against me, and they came at me real rough. And I moved there, I think, 2 weeks ago, and ever since I moved there, you know, everybody was trying to get on my case about it. But, you know, it was really, all it was, it was wolf. They talked, and the talk was real cheap. And when I came out of my room, then nothing happened. But I still kept an eye out, but nothing happened. They really try to catch you inside of a closed area. Like, I just had an incident happen where I was in the shower with another person, and the person turned around and whacked the kid 3 times, and I jumped in, you know, but it was my stupidity.
So what happened after you jumped in?
The kid's eye got swollen, and
So did you get written up for that?
I got written up, but when I jumped in, I didn't mean to hit the kid. I jumped in to, you know what I'm saying, pull the kid off of him. But me trying to throw all force around him, you know, I got a bad swing. And I grabbed the dude off of him, and I accidentally clobbered him. But it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with the kid. I knew the kid that was fighting, you know, that got hit. And, you know, we talked about it inside here, and he told me that it wasn't nothing like that. He knew what I was trying to do. I was just trying to help him. I wasn't trying to hit him. But that was over gang issues too. He was claiming a set that it wasn't true, and a lot of people wanted to get at him for it.
So what did it mean to be part of the Gangster Disciples? What do they make you do? How do you start in a gang like that?
Well, the way how I started was one day I got into a little incident, and I got into a house. And when I got into this house, it had a lot of guns in it. I took the guns and, you know what I'm saying, I went back to my house. Now where my mom lives, I was living with somebody else. And, you know what I'm saying, I was showing it to them and stuff, and then they was telling me they had a buddy that wanted to buy it. So I sold the gun to them. And then they started clicking up with me, and they knew I was on money. I was trying to make money, being stupid. And while I was doing that, you know what I'm saying, they told me I should come home. And I didn't know what they meant. It was like, you should come home to be an SGD. So, you know what I'm saying, I started chilling with them, drinking with them, and all that stuff. And then when I did come home, you know what I'm saying, I seen that it was all about money. But I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, I'm not the type of person to sit there and kill nobody or put a gun to somebody's head.
Do they ask you to do that?
No, they never asked me to do that. And that's why I respected them a lot, because they weren't the type of person, like the people to send me off to go do something stupid. You know, basically everything that I did was on my own willing. You know, if they told me to go steal something, I wasn't gonna steal it, not because they told me to. If I was gonna do something, I was gonna do it on my own. And the Spanish Gangster Disciples, they're really coming together now. And I see, you know, I heard one of my buddies, you know what I'm saying, got into a robbery case and shot 4 people. You know what I'm saying? That was the one that, you know, turned me out. And now he's in Westville for 60 years. And that's what made me pull out of everything. And I don't want to, you know, that's why I want to make a change with the gangs. And another thing too in life, I want to be a mentor. I want to be somebody to talk to young kids about what they're going through. These gangs is not what it is no more.
But a lot of kids join because they don't have a family of their own. So.
Me, the reason why I joined is the same fact. I didn't feel that I had a family, and I went to them for support. And when I went to them for support, they did show me a lot of love. And I thought it was love. It wasn't love. It was really them trying to get me to do something stupid. But it, you know, it tilts sometimes. You don't know what it is no more. When you first come home, you know what I'm saying, they show you a lot of what you need. If you ain't got nowhere to go, you can go to one of their houses. You can sleep there. If you ain't got nobody to talk to, they're there to talk to you, but in a negative way. If you ain't got a family, basically they're your family, and you don't really look at your family no more as being a family because of what they're showing you, and it's basically called street life, and that's it's not what it is. It's not. If I had a choice after all this experience, I wouldn't even have a gang. I would stop everything. But that's not my choice. It's still gonna go on no matter what anybody says. And the only thing I can do is pull myself out of it. And that's the main reason why I'm going to placements, because I was in a gang. And it really messed me up. If I wasn't in the gang, I'd be at home right now.
Well, hopefully, you put in Christian Haven will be the start of
Refreshment. Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Let's see if we can find Jamie. You look sore.
My back's killing me.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened? They put their knee on your back?
They put the knee on my back and pulled my arm over my, back this way. They pulled that back this way, and this arm was in here. And I told them I couldn't move, and they kept on trying to pull my arms out. You know, if you're laying on top of me, how am I gonna move my arm so you can cuff me? You gotta get off me for me to put my arm behind my back. But they wasn't listening, so they kind of try to force everything and mess me up, bang me up real bad.
Do you feel like you have injuries?
Yeah, I feel like something in my back is moved, but I don't know what it is.
You think maybe you feel like you have like a broken rib or something? Maybe?
Nah, I don't know if it feels like like my spine is kind of curved, but I don't know. I hope it's not a disc that kind of slipped a little bit. But they did have their knee like on my spine. It was pushing it in. So what it did was kind of push it over. And I do have scoliosis, so you know what I'm saying, my spine is messed up. And when I was a kid, I was with my dad on a motorcycle. He crashed into a wall, and my whole body had kind of bent, and it messed up my back. So ever since, I can't sleep right on it, and it just messed it up worse now.
They might transport you to the hospital.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do.
Show me your wrist.
Yeah, it's got a big bump. You know, and that's basically the main things that happens when, you know, when you argue like that, when you don't want to go willingly, they have to do this kind of stuff. I don't know if I got any marks on my ankles no more. Yeah, dude, it's swollen. Well, it's just all stuff.
So when you said you might kill yourself, do you remember saying that time?
Nah, I was just acting out. I was being stupid. I would never kill myself. I got a lot to live for. I was kind of looking at attention. That's all it was. And that's what my main factor was, trying to get out of it. But it's just all the act.
So you feel better now?
I feel okay. Not exactly better. I can't really breathe right. And, my heart feels like it's being poked. So hopefully when I go back to my room, I just sleep it off. Or I'm going to ask the nurse to transfer me to the hospital to see if there's anything wrong. But I don't feel better. I mean, emotionally, I'm okay because I know ain't nobody going to hurt me. But other than that, and then like physically, yeah, I don't feel good. Yes, man.